Hello. So we are getting ready for round 2 of CIR Relevance. Before we get into what that really means, just a quick reminder of what CIR is. Remember, our goal here with our CIR observational rounds are to improve student achievement. We are looking to see what is it the students are learning. Instructional effectiveness, are we selecting the right tool, the right strategy, the right lesson for the students to learn your objective to the depth that you want it to be learned? We are looking to improve teaching. We're giving you another set of eyes so that you can see, are the students actually doing what you expect them to do with the instruction that you've given them? And we're looking to improve professional dialogue. So with our follow-up conversations, learning from each other through discussion. So relevance. What is relevance? There's several things. When we're talking about relevance, our goal here is to make the learning meaningful to students. Sometimes this might mean that we're looking for relevance in the process. Maybe it's not the content that the students need to connect with, it's the process itself. We want to try to connect it to students' lives, both the past, present, and future. With the future, we want to take something that they need to know for the future and make it relevant to them now. Why does this matter to them at this point in time? We want to use authentic resources, things that are real that students can kind of latch onto. And most importantly, we want to not dismiss the question, how am I going to use what I'm learning today? A lot of times we think that students are asking this question just to stall or kill time, but really it's a legitimate question. Students need to know what the point is of learning, what it is they're learning in school, whether it's the relevance of the content or just the process itself. What relevance is not? Relevance is not cool just for the sake of being cool, like Mark Hammond in summer school. Just because it's fun doesn't make it relevant. Relevance is not exclusive. It's great if you have high relevance, but if we're not also increasing the rigor over time, then we're not going to get the most learning for our students. Relevance is not about the teacher. Just because we think something is relevant, we have to really watch our students and make sure that the connection is being made for them as well. This is something I know I had to look out for all the time, because just because I'm excited about it doesn't mean that the kids are. So really, a relevant lesson is going to answer 3 questions. What am I learning? Why am I learning it? And how will I use it? Ultimately, students are here, they're figuring out what the world is like and how they fit into it. And the more relevant our lessons are, the more likely they are to do that. So as we're thinking about relevance, we can look at the application model. And basically, it just goes up. So you start at level 1 with the knowledge in a specific content. Level 2 is that you can apply it within that content. Level 3, you can apply it across different contents. You get to levels 4 and 5, and now we're looking at real-world situations, predictable and unpredictable. And the higher up the application model we can go, the more likely it is that students are able to remember the learning that you are trying to give them through your instruction. This takes us to our rigor relevance framework. Now that we've looked at both rigor and relevance, you can see how the two fit together. So going up the y-axis, we have the rigor scale starting at knowledge and moving up to evaluation. And then across the x-axis, we have the relevance scale starting with the knowledge in one discipline all the way up to real-world application in unpredictable situations. The higher up you can go in both rigor and relevance to get to quadrant D, adaptation, the more likely it is that the students are internalizing the learning and that they'll be able to apply it in different situations, which ultimately is the goal. So how do we make sure our lessons are relevant? One way to go is to think about problem-based learning, asking kids to use the knowledge that they have to tackle real-world problems that have more than one solution. They have to think deeply, they have to analyze, they have to process, and this is good. We want them to be grappling with their ideas. Like we discussed with rigor, productive struggle is a good thing, and it applies with relevance as well. So some quick ways to add relevance to any learning situation. Relate the learning to the students themselves, their lives, their interests, their families, their communities, really trying to tap into things that students are familiar with. And then we want to also use real world examples. The trick to the real world examples is to make sure that it applies to the student's real world, not just what we view as the real world. Because if you choose a current event that students have no connection to or no understanding of, they're not really going to view it as real world. It's still outside of their own personal lives. So ultimately, I think this quote kind of sums up the importance of relevance. Students come to school to make meaning, but they have outside sources to make meaning as well. This is why the connection is so key. Students today have access to limitless amounts of information via the internet. So our goal here is to help them see how what they do at school is relevant to their lives, how it's going to improve their lives, how this will help them in the long run. And it will also help them be more discerning with all the information they have access to when they're not here. So basically, at this point, we just continue on with the process. It's the same as it was with rigor. So let me know when you're ready to talk about your lesson plan reflection. We can sit down and look at your lesson and go through the rubric. We will have our classroom visits, and then we will follow those up with the professional dialogue with the whole cohort. Let me know if you have any questions, and thank you for watching.